And today I'm going to show you how I made this chicken and veggie olive oil pasta. So simple. I love pastas like this. So first off, we're going to start off by cooking the asparagus. Okay, fresh asparagus. I just put a little olive oil in the skillet and we just going to steam these things. I'm just going to put the top on it. Obviously the top doesn't fit because I don't got no square top. Not for this pan. But, you know, whatever top you got that will work and that will fit on it, just use that. Use what you got, okay? Because I always do. And you never know what you got to use when you're trying to cover up, you know, when you're trying to do stuff like this when it comes to steaming. So I'm going to just let it cook for a little bit. So I let it, you know, it starts sweating at this point. So I just add a little butter. And I'm going to just keep letting it, you know, just covering it and letting it do its thing. Then I put a little bit of season oil on it. Just for the flavor. Okay. Just a little bit for the flavor. Some red pepper flakes, of course, because I love red pepper flakes too. And you know, that's I didn't put too much more on that. I just left it how it is just because I know that I'm gonna be putting some of this asparagus in the pasta. And I love asparagus. So all of this asparagus is not going in the pasta. Okay. So some of it is maybe like half of it. And I'm gonna be like kind of chopping it up. You'll see you'll see when I start adding everything back in. Because this process is super simple. Okay. Maybe an hour tops of cooking like this whole meal. Tops. I always give everything an hour tops, but it just depends on you. Because, you know, if you want to take your time, it could take longer than that. But since this ain't no heavy pasta and it's just olive oil, it will not take long at all. It ain't. It's perfect. So at this point, I'm just kind of, I don't know what I'm doing right there. I'm just kind of lining them up and just going to keep the top on it. And this is how it was looking. These about done now. Okay. When that color start coloring like that, just go and put them to the side, okay? And I put a little Parmesan on top just for flavor. Then we will go ahead and take that off. You know, like I said, put it to the side. Put a little more butter in the skillet. Gonna be using a lot of butter. A lot of butter. Well, not a whole lot because we're gonna be using olive oil for the pasta. So, but for the cooking purposes, using butter. And then we're gonna add the chicken. And I stripped them. I basically cut the chicken into strips. Real thin strips though, because I don't know. I got to think about having big chunks of chicken and stuff. And since, like I said, this is a garlic and olive oil pasta, I didn't want big, chunky chicken in this. So I cut it as thin as I basically felt like cutting it. As thin as you can, pretty much. Okay? Thinly sliced. Thinly sliced. So I got that butter in there. I'm going to be putting the top on this also because you got to let it cook. Everything pretty much got to have a top on it for a little bit just for it to be cooked thoroughly and all the way through. Because that basically speeds the process up when you put the top on it. And it ensures that it's cooked thoroughly. You know? That's what it's all about. That is what it's all about. So I'm going to use kind of the same seasonings. So I'll just start off with a little bit of seasonal. I use this... paprika. I'm sorry, I couldn't tell what that was. Paprika, some W sauce. Because I love that W, okay? I love the Worcestershire sauce. Then I add a little bit of Italian seasoning. A little bit of Blackened seasoning. And then gave it a mix. Mix that thing up. Mix it well. Okay? Got to make sure these flavors is flavoring. You know what I'm saying? You see I get messy. Just get the falling over everywhere and all that. But yeah, just mix it up. And since this ain't no deep pan, I got to be careful how I mix it. So I'm trying not to go too crazy because I get to going crazy with the spoon and everything get to splash and going all over the place. So you see I'm doing it gentle. Gentle. We're doing it gentle. Just do it a light little stir. Okay? Lightly stir. Put the top on it. Cover it. Boom, boom. Okay? This how I was looking after maybe like half the time. Almost done, but not quite. Almost, but not quite. So just flip and mix. Just you see, lightly. I'm doing a light flip. Because I want the seasonings on both sides. There's no point of seasoning on both sides when it comes to things like this when it's already in a pot. Because when you mix it around, the flavors get everywhere in the bottom of the pot and everywhere. So when you steam it, everything just kind of becoming one. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we want. The flavors got to come together. That's why you don't want to use too many or too much. You could really use as many seasonings as you want as long as you're using them lightly, especially the ones that have a lot of salt. If it's high sodium, use that light. Do not go crazy with no high sodium. Make sure you have to look at the nutritional facts in the back of most of these seasonings just to make sure. And check that sodium. And then at this point, like I said, if you start off with like a light seasoning in the beginning, you have room to add. So you see, I didn't add too much seasonal and things like that, just because once it gets to cooking thoroughly, I usually have to add a little sprinkle on there. Either way, season lightly at first so you have room to add if needed throughout the process. You know what I'm saying? And just keep them seasonings right on standby, right on the side of you. Okay, right on the counter. Don't put them away yet. Okay. And like I said, I'm just gonna keep putting the top on it until it's done, until it's sufficient and it look done and it's done like I want it to be, like this. Look at that, bussing. Okay, it's a bussing. Yes. Now I didn't get the footage of cutting the onion and the green pepper, but we're gonna go ahead and steam them, get a nice brown to them. As you can see, it's almost done. The onions are almost translucent. This is the noodles I'm be using, whole grain spaghetti. I like whole grain noodles. I ain't even gonna hold you. I really do. I like using whole grain stuff. It just makes me feel better inside. Now, as far as the olive oil, we just gonna cover the bottom of the pan. So a light layer of olive oil, but enough, because you could add less if you're not adding all these ingredients. But since I'm adding some ingredients, more than like a lot of ingredients, not a whole lot, but since I'm adding ingredients, I added a nice little amount of olive oil because I just don't want it to dry out for real. So that's what we're doing. I also did steam a winter blend, a broccoli and cauliflower mix. I steamed some veggies because I'm gonna add those in there too. Because like I said, I love using stuff that I got in the house. And if I got some more veggies I can add, the more veggies, the better. Okay? Especially when it comes to stuff like this. Like, it's really like a number thing. Since the olive oil is the sauce, you pretty much can add whatever you want. So I'm starting to add the spaghetti in, mix it around, make sure that those noodles are getting into that olive oil. Okay? This is the process. We just adding everything in. And we just combine them all so it can all become a family. It all becomes one. That is the goal, the ultimate goal when it comes to dishes like this, and pretty much all my dishes, because in the end, everything has to become one. It has to become a family so those flavors can marinate and become one. I added a little bit of pasta water, maybe like half a cup tops of some pasta water, just, for flavor, really for flavor. Because I over-salted my pasta water too, so it's really just for flavor. So I'm just, at this point, just mixing, making sure the noodles, everything is evenly incorporated, making sure the noodles is in that olive oil, just making sure, okay? At this point, it was smelling so good because for the flavors from the chicken, I didn't pretty much have to add. I added little to no seasoning at this point just because the chicken has so much flavor in itself. So even if I did, just taste it. Taste as you go. If you got to add some seasonings, add it. If you don't, even better. Because for some people, this might just be perfect. It might be perfect. You might just need a little tap. A little tap of seasoning. Not major. So yeah, you see it's looking good. It's coming together. Now, for the asparagus, like I said, I put some Parmesan on top just for flavor. We're going to cut it and I'm going to add them in there. So I chopped them up just a little bit, and we're just going to add them right up in there. And I ain't going to lie. I'm taking this. This is a recipe that I'm taking a note out of my Pop's book, because my Pops, he is the king of throwing things together, especially meals like this, because he love making like olive oil pastas and stuff like that, and just adding because he'll make an olive oil pasta and just have veggies. Because you don't even necessarily have to have meat. You could just put a whole bunch of veggies in this and make it real colorful, and boom, you good. But this is it. Like I said, I added a little bit of cauliflower, a little broccoli, add that asparagus, add as many veggies as you want, because this was fire. Okay? I hope you enjoyed this. I really do. I topped it with a little red pepper flakes and some Parmesan. Make sure you add a little Parmesan on the top when you eat it, because it top tier. Okay? Top tier, baby. And if you enjoyed this, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I got videos coming. I'm always creating something. Might take a little minute to get it on here, but I'm going to get it to you. Okay? I had to plate that thing. This is how it was looking. Now for Bay, I made him He wanted a little bit, so this was his meal. Little spicy chicken with some rice and some asparagus, and he wanted a little scoopy scoop of the pasta too. So I be blessing my coworkers too. So this Lorenza, this one of my coworkers, I brought her some of the pasta so she could try and give you a live reaction. So hold on.
My heart.
You see, it's not a game. Not a game. My food is delicious, but it speaks for itself. But yeah, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks, guys.